Hello and welcome to the Seer 365 sessions. Today we're joined by Webexpenses. So Chloe and Fazana, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
No problem at all. And thank you very much for diving in and bailing Jamie out. So some of we're just seeing when we're advertising the session, Jamie was meant to do it, but he thought he would upgrade himself to Fazana. So there we go. So thank you for joining. Let's start with a bit of introduction about yourselves and about Webexpenses. Fazana, do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Fazana. I'm the partner executive at Webexpenses. So I basically help to create new partnerships and maintain and manage any of our existing partners. Chloe?
Well, thanks, Fazana. My name's Chloe. I'm one of the sales consultants here at Webexpenses. So I work with a number of prospects, demonstrate the system, which is what I'll be doing today, and then, turning them into clients, all going well.
Very cool indeed. Thank you very much. Those of you that are watching live, feel free to ask questions. So in the comment bit underneath the video that you're watching, just add some comments, add some questions, and then I'll pop them up on the screen, and then we'll do our best to answer them or get back to you if it's something we don't know about. So with that then, Fazana, do you want to kick things off?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just give a brief overview in terms of who we are, what it is that we do. So essentially what we do, we're an expense management solution provider. We can help streamline your process from claimants to approver to finance. We've got a head office located in the UK, so in Whitney, which means we're really well adapted to the UK market when it comes to tax and regulations. And then we've also got offices in North America and Australia, so that also allows us to have a global reach. And that also means we can offer 24/6 global support. And then we've got over 2,200 clients in 70 different countries. So we've got a really, really broad range, and we're really well established. We're coming up to our 25th birthday. So yeah, we've been in the game for quite a while. Now, in terms of how we can help businesses, so we work with a number of organizations, and what we tend to find areas that we can help the most in is to help increase that invisibility. And because finance teams have more transparency over spends, they are able to make sure that users are able to be more compliant with company policies, any governance. This helps to make your process a lot more efficient because you're not having to go back and forth. A lot of companies still have a manual process, which tends to be like a spreadsheet, and you have to file paper receipts. So this will really help. Having an automated process will really help have control and just make sure that you're able to help your business grow. This is really great for any partners that are on the webinar today who are looking to potentially partner with an expense management provider, because at the end of the day, this will help to add value to your customers, and again, that will help with growth and retention. Now, why partner with us? So we've got loads of different partners. We've got numerous partners in different areas, and we've got 2 different partnership programs that we offer our partners. So we've got the referral base, where essentially you identify the opportunity and you will let us know about that, and we'll take care of the whole sales process. So we'll qualify, we'll demonstrate, we'll do the pricing, and we'll do the implementation, and then you will get a kickback at the end of that. Then we've got our reseller partners. So essentially, you are reselling Webexpenses. You're identifying, you're demoing, you're doing the pricing proposal. At the end of the day, you maintain that relationship with your customer, and then what we'll do is we'll build the system. So you'll give us an order form, we'll implement it, and you'll get a monthly reoccurring revenue. So for an example, in terms of what this would look like, if you've got a company that's got 2,000 employees and they decide to go for a 500 monthly claiming contract. Then as a referral partner, you'll get £4,860. Whereas if you're a reseller, because you're doing the bulk of the work, you'll get 35% of the monthly recurring revenue, which accounts to £945. So, you've got the different options there and different touch points. So you can decide what works better for you. But again, you're allowing your customers to get more added value, which, like I mentioned, it increases the retention, and you've got that new opportunity to provide another service other than what it is that you are already providing.
And just one quick question on that. The integration at the moment is with Business Central, I think.
Yeah, so we've got a direct integration with Business Central. It's two-way as well. And Chloe's going to touch on that as well during the demonstration. And she'll also give a little bit of more insight in terms of what that integration looks like with Business Central. So, even if you don't have, your customer doesn't have an integration with Business Central, it's, we can work with loads of different ERPs. You're not limited to one. You might have a client who's looking to move to Business Central, but they're currently on F&O, for example. Then we can still support that and support the move, so they can still use Webexpenses while they're on their old ERP system while they're transitioning to Business Central, for example.
All right, thank you.
Now on the screen, these are just some customers that we currently work with. On here, the customers, there's a wide range of industries, and there's also a wide range of sizes on the screen. So there's not a particular niche that we work with. It's more so if you've got a need for expenses, we can work with you. Our solution is quite tailored, so we build our solution for the customer based on your requirements, which is really nice. So it's not like it's a pre-constructed system that you're limited in terms of customizability or in terms of requirements. We can help with them. And you'll also see on the screen that some of these logos have the Microsoft Business Central logo next to it, and they are using our integration with Microsoft to get that seamless transition. Now, in terms of why Webexpenses out of some of the other providers, we value our customer opinions, our customers getting value from our system the most. So any feedback that we get from our customers, we make sure to take it back and work on it, which has resulted in us having over 100 system updates every year. So any feedback that we get, it could be customers, it could be our partners, even from our staff, we take that into consideration, and we make sure that we're making those improvements and making those changes to make sure that the solution is up to date and efficient and to what our customers want and need. And as a result of that, we've got some really nice awards there, as you can see, some badges, and we've got currently a 4.5 star rating on the App Store, which is really great for an expense management provider. It's actually one of the highest scores that you'll see if you search up any other expense management provider. And then what we also, are really proud of is the support that we provide our customers. So, like I mentioned, we've got 24/6 global support. This is through not just live chat, but also phone and email. A lot of times you'll find that, you'll email, a provider, and that is the only method, but we've got loads of different ways that you can access our team, and it could be for something as little as you've forgotten your password and you need assistance in changing it. We're there to help you. You also get access to the academy, so this is a training program that you can complete in your own time. It's really nice because you can refer back to it in the future if you need a little bit of a memory jog, or it's there for you to be able to do whenever you need to, so you're making sure that you've got the knowledge. You also get access to a dedicated account management team. So, we're there to make sure that you're happy and satisfied with our product. And then customer success health checks. Like I mentioned, we take our customer feedback and making sure that customers are getting the value from our product really, really high. So a lot of our feedback that we get from these health checks have been really great, and a lot of the changes and product releases that we have made have been from these health checks, because we've been able to speak to customers and really understand what it is that they're lacking or what they need, or maybe they thought that there was a certain functionality that we didn't have, but it's not been explored, and we've realized that actually, you know what, we can help you with that, or it's there, but you know, it's just making sure you're making the most out of the system. I'll pass on to Chloe for this.
Fab. Thanks, Fazana. So as a company, a couple of things that we offer, they include like some standard features such as OCR and items like that. I'm not going to go too much into them right now because I'll show you in the demonstration. But some standout points: credit card reconciliation, so the ability to match automatically receipts to transaction. That can be a real-time saver for a lot of people. Finance teams don't really enjoy receiving a big bunch of receipts that they have to match themselves to statement lines. So that is something that we can help automate. One of our very unique features is carbon tracking. So we can track the carbon emissions on all road, train, air, taxi, motorbike journeys. And there's a pre-made report that can be downloaded and used in the system too. And I'll just briefly touch on approval flows too. So a number of different options that we can offer with regards to this. We can do multi-step. We can do traditional line manager finance. There's project-based approval. So options around that to ensure that you're getting the most from the system essentially, and that it's going through the relevant avenues before it comes to finance for processing, and it's not getting lost in an email chain. But we'll begin the demonstration. So I'm going to start sharing my mobile app screen. Now, this is our claimants login as such on the mobile app. And when they log in, they're greeted by a personal dashboard. So it says good morning, good afternoon, and it's got their name on it, as you can see there. So this is my personal spend area. So this is out-of-pocket spend, mileage, items like that they've used their own cash for. And they've got complete tracking capabilities at this point. So we can see how much is submitted, how much is waiting for approval, and all that jazz. If I swipe across, similar dashboard for corporate card spend. Now, how corporate cards work is we have a global endpoint with Visa, MasterCard, and Amex. And what that means is that we have a daily feed coming into our system from them. So users can go out, spend on their company cards. The transaction hops onto the daily feed, comes into our system, and is allocated to the correct user based upon the card details, and then it can automatically match to a receipt. I'm going to pop into my claims section at the bottom there, and this is where my claim folders live. We can pop all our receipts into one area and submit when we're ready, whether that is monthly, that seems to be like quite common, or whether it's just after on-site meetings, for example, too. Press the blue plus button and the camera receipt button, and I can snap my receipt and click use photo. When I press the green tick at the bottom, our OCR kicks in and it pulls out the date, the amount, and the description off of the receipt for us. Now, we can interact with this information. So for example, my description being Dodo Pub is not particularly helpful. So what I can do is fill in a little bit more here. Next, they can select their category. This category list will mirror what's in Business Central. Now, because of the two-way integration, any changes made in BC will also be reflected in Webexpenses. Essentially, we're a bolt-on, so we will mirror that. We also can add any policies. So, for example, if I click that orange eye, the category policy pops up there. This is a free text field for finance to just give insight to their claimants as to what they can and can't spend. We also have soft or hard rules. A hard rule means if they were to go over a spend limit, it would block them from submitting. A soft rule allows them to go over the spend limit, but it would ask them to provide a reason, and then it flags it for the approver in finance to make a decision on that. One of the other highlighted points of this is it also allows finance to report on repeat offenders who consistently go over spend limits. So it does give insight into that kind of thing too.
Yeah, I don't think this would be good for me. I'll be going over there.
You'd be flagged up.
Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
If I scroll down a bit further, we do have the opportunity to also manage multi-currency. So, for example, any international travel, we have an integration with Open Exchange, our FX provider, and we'll calculate the exchange rate based upon the date of the receipt. And then just a little bit below that, you'll also notice project. Now, we have the opportunity within the integration to manage dimensions within Webexpenses too. So if there are any that are relating to expense spend, then we can pull them through and users can select what it relates to, and then you're getting that additional tracking and reporting capabilities as well. And then, of course, VAT. VAT is associated to our categories. We set it up in the background. So I select a subsistence, set up at 20%, therefore calculates 20% of the total amount off of the receipt for us. And this can, of course, be amended by finance in the back end too. Press the green tick and it saves that into our folder for us. Now it has gone in with a green tick. It's all in line with the policy. Yours might not show this, Rich, if it was you. It might have a red exclamation mark instead, for example.
It might have like a death skull or something.
I'll pass that on to our product board to see if we can add that one in. And a green paper clip that shows that we've got a receipt attached too. With regards to mileage claims, simply we select our category as mileage, the date that we went on our journey, a brief description, of course, and the map route add destination button. Now the map route add destination button brings up our integration with Bing Maps. So it works the same as doing directions on your phone. Pop in your start location and your end destination. We also have favorites and recents. This just makes it even easier for repetitive or regular users. One of the other benefits, if we didn't go this way, you know how it is, especially here in the UK, there's always a road closure or something like that. What we can do is zoom in and we can drag and drop our route to match the way we actually went.
Cool.
And then it calculates it all for you quite simply. We can pop it as a return journey if we wish to, but it's going to pull through our number of miles and then our mileage rate. Now we can customize this in a number of different ways. I've got standard 45p and the system would naturally drop me down past, if I went past 10,000 miles. But we can do customizable rates. We can do engine size, you know, dependent, for example. So we've got options around that. And then vehicle at the bottom there too. So this allows us to track the carbon emissions on that journey. And as mentioned previously, we can track the carbon emissions on all road, train, air, taxi, motorbike journeys. And then you can run that report when you need to. Again, I'll select my dimension. And if I did want to add a receipt, we don't just have to snap a picture. So really worth noting that. I personally use my phone gallery. We can use the receipt section in the solution itself. We can email them in. We can share from other apps too. So lots of options around that. And receipts are also rules. So we could say you cannot submit without one. However, today I can, and it will pop in there. And it has got a red exclamation mark. So we can click on that and it's because I changed the route. So this is how it will display for everybody involved. Just to know that we need to double check it. Ready to submit, we can press the blue submit button. Any notes can be added in. Did we claim mileage? Yes, we did. And this populates a duty of care statement. So this just puts the onus back on the user that they are insured, MOT'd, etc. too. And then we submit. And our dashboard updates too. Before I touch on approver, I'm just going to touch on the credit card aspect as well. So if I was a credit card holder, we have this credit card tab. We can click in and see the list of transactions that have been pulled through on that feed. I like to compare this to online banking on your phone. If you were out and about and you'd spent at the coffee shop, it pops up on your online banking app. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. The only difference is we've got little green paper clips to show it's found a receipt in the system and it's matched off. So for Co-op, for example, we haven't got one. So I know I need to go have a dig in my bag and find it, sort of thing. So it's a little bit like a to-do list as well. And then they can then, select them and submit. That is our claimant side of things. I'm just going to quickly swap into my approver profile now. Worth noting, everyone will be notified on mobile app notifications and email if they had something to approve. What is really worth noting is that your approver at this point, they can also submit their own expenses. So this is my approver's personal dashboard. They can do all their submissions themselves. They just have an additional approvals areas for the ones that they need to approve for their employees. They can click in, open the folder up and see the items in there. And we do offer line item rejection. So if I said, I'm not happy with that mileage claim, you went a bit of a weird and wacky way, what we can do is just select that item on its own, press the red cross, and we would have to provide a reason why we're rejecting, just so the person can make the necessary changes before resubmitting. Obviously, still I'm all happy though, so I'll just click that green tick. And in my case, this will come to finance for final checking. Now that is the mobile app in a nutshell. I'm going to move on to my desktop now to show you the finance side of things as well.
I think you're going to need to reshare that again. It's dropped off. Oh,
Okay.
There we go.
Are we there?
There we go. Yeah, we're there.
It's worth noting that everything I've done so far can also be done on the desktop. So they don't have to use the mobile app. It's completely up to personal preference and how people want to submit or approve their expenses. Now, when we log in from our finance screen, we get taken to our finance dashboard. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to give us an overview of certain different types of information that can be really handy for our finance team to know from a higher level. So for example, we can track our category spend, got our top 10 spenders. So Rich, you might be at the top of that, for example, and it would just give us insights as to who's spending the most money. So we can tell them to tighten their purse strings a little bit.
Might need a bigger graph, but sure.
I'll touch on reporting in a bit more detail in just a second. Just finishing off the claims we've sent through today. So we keep personal spend very separate from credit cards, so that is worth noting. We're not going to be mixing and matching those up. For credit cards, how this will work for us is, if I just actually make sure mine's popped in there. How it will work is it's all attached to your account and it's all within a particular billing period. So what it means is that we're matching your statement like exactly. Finance have an overview of all the spend. You can see everything that's happening, and they also have the capabilities to edit any of the data. So if anything was input incorrectly, finance is the person to fix it. So they can see the transaction information, they can see the receipt, and if they're happy, they can mark it off. They can also see what claimants are up to. So these three were on my mobile app, and we can see that they do in fact have receipts. They just have not been submitted yet. And what we can do is we can give them a bit of a nudge in the right direction, and it will send them a notification saying, please submit your receipts. Or we can notify all, and it notifies everyone. Personal spend, again, finance can come in. They have the final say over everything. They can click in, amend any of the data before we put it into Business Central to ensure that it's going in correctly. Of course, we can view attached receipts, and same goes for mileage as well too. But for today, I'll just process, and that gets that ready to go into Business Central. It is worth noting that we do also offer a payment module, but we understand that obviously there's a number of partners out there that may have payment methods themselves. So it is not something that we would push if it was not wanted, but it's there as an option. And then, of course, we have a full reporting suite on the left-hand side, such as the CO2 emissions report that I touched on earlier, as well as a custom area where you can build your own reports. You can actually filter to the level of seeing what's coming your way, so it hasn't even been submitted yet. And all of this can be downloaded, CSV, Excel, PDF with your logo on too, which can be nice to share as well. But back to our slides.
Yep.
Last page. Oh, yes, sorry.
There we go.
Perfect. So just quickly overview on integrations. I know we've touched on it a little bit. Two-way integration with Business Central, number of items we can pull across. For example, if you were to add new employees into Business Central, they'd auto-populate in Webexpenses. And same goes for dimensions, categories, like all the important expense items. And then, of course, we also have the option, if you did have people that didn't want the integration, we also offer CSV that can be downloaded too. Okay. Any questions? I've left us.
So no questions have been put in the LinkedIn bit, but I know we do have people watching. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free to post them now. So some questions that I've got then. So if I'm a Business Central partner, I sign up either as a referral or as a kind of sales partner. what's the implementation like for this? How much time does it normally take?
Yeah, so it differs on the partner. We have an onboarding process that usually takes about 3 months, but if you're a reseller partner, it's about 3 to 6 months. With referral partners, we'll do we'll both really. We'll do sales enablement. So, we'll come visit you, or we'll do it online where we get to speak to your sales team about Webexpenses a bit more, give you a more detailed demonstration of the systems. And then we'll also help you in terms of conversation starters so that you know when or how to include Webexpenses within conversations that you have with prospects and customers. With reseller partners, what we like to do is we usually like to offer 5 demos, or if you need more demos, then that is also an option where there's 5 sales that we would help you with from start to finish so that you can really see and understand what the sales process looks like and how one of our experts would do it. But even after the 5, we still have some reseller partners that we've been partnered with for a few years. But if they have a slightly larger prospect, or a prospect has requested a bit more detail in certain areas of the system, we're more than happy to jump on and help.
Great. And then from the customer perspective, how much effort would it take from their side to implement Webexpenses? So are we talking like an extra 100 days, an extra day? How much time is it going to take to add to the project?
So with regards to new clients jumping on board, our implementation process is 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
That includes a number of different things. So it can be shorter or longer, dependent on the response times of the client. But also what we include in that is the access to the Webexpenses Academy to ensure that their admin users are properly trained and they know how to use the system. We also offer the trial period, like the test and trial period within that. So they have a few weeks where they can get a few users in, test and trial it, come back to the implementation consultants to ensure that, we make the changes so that it suits them. And our clients only go live once they're happy and it's doing everything they want it to do.
And would that be your team doing the implementation, or the BC partner doing that?
I think it depends on the type of partner program route that you decide to go with. We implement majority, but we're always open to training new partners.
Yeah, so it all depends on the partnership. Majority of the time we will do the implementation, and a lot of the times everything is in-house. So our support, for example, is all in-house, and implementation is in-house. So if the partner did decide that they didn't want to do the implementation and that we would do it, then it's in-house. So everyone's got that knowledge.
Yeah. And obviously you're not competitive, right? So it's not being passed out to anybody else. It's literally you, and you know the product better than anybody else. So that's cool.
Exactly.
All right. Well, in which case then, gang, I just want to thank everybody for your time, for joining us today. Hopefully you found that really interesting. If you are interested in finding out more about Webexpenses, then the team will be at Directions EMEA. They will be at our party. And Chloe, to answer your question, that's why my expenses get big. So they will be at the party. I know they're going to be hanging around our stand from time to time. So if you are going to Vienna in November, please come over and say hi to the Webexpenses team as well. Or email them at partners@webexpenses.com, and I'll put it up a bit bigger as well. And I know the team are looking to partner with as many BC partners as they can. Hopefully you've seen enough today to make it certainly worth a conversation and finding out a bit more. I do think the margin you get for both being a reseller or an importation partner looks pretty good to me. I'll be honest. That's pretty good recurring money to bring in. So I do think it's well worth your time to check them out. So thanks again. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll hope everybody has a great rest of your week.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Richard.
No problem at all. See you in a bit.